what did I tell you? Didn't I tell you that this woman was a liar? It was pretty obvious. But the problem is that Emiru is surrounded by simps and people like Asmongold, Tecton, and basically most of the OTK members are on her side. I told you back then when all of this started, I was one of the first people to be on Mizkif's side. The reason being is not because I am a fanboy or a fanatic of Mizkif, it's not because I even watch his content regularly, I honestly don't, but sometimes I used to tune to his streams, and even if right now people say that Mizkif was a failed content creator, that isn't even fucking true. If that was true, he wouldn't have been invited to OTK in the first place, you stupid idiots. So some of his streams were actually pretty entertaining, like Camp Canut, all of those streams. So I am not a regular Mizkif viewer. In fact, I usually don't follow anyone because I like to be my own man. I don't like to be a follower. I don't have a follower mentality. I am not a fucking NPC. But I have to recognize that Mizkif can be quite entertaining when he is really motivated to be. With that being said, like I said, I am not a fanatic of Mizkif, not even a regular viewer. But the reason why I am on his side is for the same reason that I am going to be on the side of any man that is falsely accused. I don't give a fuck about their political views, about what type of things they like. I don't give a fuck what people or what type of men they are. I don't give a shit. The moment a woman throws a false allegation, false accusations, I am on their fucking side. Because that's the attitude that men need to have. Men need to protect men. We need to band together and fight these bitches. And if you don't do that, you're a coward and you're acting like a leftist bitch. Because you can say whatever you want. Maybe Mizkif is a leftist. I don't know what are his political views. But right now, what he is doing right now, fighting Emiru, this harpy, this lying harpy, is more right-wing than anything that you have been doing in probably your entire life, because he's fighting for men's rights. Even if he is only fighting his case is going to set up a precedent. He is doing the hard work, and this is what we need to be doing as men. We need to band together to fight these false accusations. So basically Mizkif dropped part 1. Imagine that, this is only part 1 and it's a 40 minutes video. Just so you see the magnitude of the lies of this fucking bitch. She lied multiple times. This is part 1. Mizkif was accused of being a rapist, an abuser, and a stalker. And Asmongold, Tecton, and most of the OTK members agreed with that statement. But mostly the ones that did the damage were Asmongold and Tecton. And you need to remember, Tecton, a judge found out that Tecton is actually or did commit weird shit with his ex-girlfriends. The shit is so bad that he was disallowed. He was forbidden to own firearms. Tecton's dad is an actual convicted rapist. You need to understand that these people are the ones accusing Mizkif. Asmongold is a fucking psychopath. I have exposed him multiple times on my videos. His dad was diagnosed with psychopathy. Psychopathy is an hereditary trait, so of course Asmongold is a fucking psychopath, and he has admitted to it multiple times.
And also, like, he even tried to join these like private military mercenary groups. Like, he had to, apparently he had to lie on his what do you call it? He had to lie on his like military intake form because they weren't going to take him because they said he was like a psychopath.
Because they weren't going to take him because they said he was like a psychopath.
Because they were gonna station him stateside because there were a bunch of like protests going on like now, and they said, "Would you ever fire on an American citizen?" He said, "If somebody throws a brick at me, I'm going to." And then they sent him to Vietnam. Straight up. And so, so it was around the Vietnam War. Yeah, his psych evaluation. He has a lie in his psych evaluation. And so that's why I found funny, you know, people saying like, "Oh, your dad would be disappointed in you saying this." Like, oh, if only you knew.
Oh, if only you knew.
So you know precisely what to say whenever you interview total strangers? Well, it's because, let me think of a way to put it. Like, whenever I interact with people, I don't really a lot of times like see them as people. I just see them as like a resource that I use to get what I want.
I don't really a lot of times like see them as people. I just see them as like a resource that I use to get what I want.
I think that I am a fallen angel, and the reality is that of all the people, this is what I really believe, is that I think that I am one of the only people that is truly virtuous, and a lot of other people are not. They are not virtuous. They pretend to be. And the reason why, ego stroke, no, I'm being serious about this. I really think this about myself. And I will explain the reason why. It's because I don't really, like, this is going to sound like a psycho thing to say.
This is gonna sound like a psycho thing to say.
But like a lot of empathy and sympathy and human emotions don't come naturally to me. They just don't. Like, I remember whenever I would hit somebody in the face when I was a kid, I would think that shit was funny, bro. Like, I was like, damn, bitch, that's what you get. That's, gotcha, bitch. And they be crying, bleeding. I think that shit is hilarious.
And they be crying, bleeding. I think that shit is hilarious.
And so the way that I've learned the way that other people feel is not through how I feel. It's through how other people feel. And it's through logic and reason. And that's the reason why I think that I'm a better advocate for this, is because I don't see it through the lens of emotion. It's engineered logically. And that's what it is. Huh, you fucking roach? No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Like, that's actually what it was. And yeah, did man just admit he's a sociopath? Oh, I don't know, maybe I am. Like, I don't know. Like, people told me that. Like, they said a lot worse about that than, like, they said a lot worse about that than me. Like, I mean, that's what it was. So I mean, but at the end of the day, like, you know, I don't really think that I'm that crazy. I think the world is crazy, if you want me to be honest. I think the world is crazy, and I'm the only one that's not crazy. So, you know, like, that's it. And you did? That's already how psychopaths operate? Well, either way, that's the reason, that's what makes me the most virtuous person. Like my grandpa said, lie, cheat, and deceive. If you get caught, deny it. That's right. Always lie. Always lie. Always cheat. Always take advantage of whatever you can. Be a roach. Roaches survive. I've lied to people my whole life. People that think that they're really smart, no, they're not. It's easy. So all you have to do is figure out how a person's brain works, and then you can figure out how to manipulate them. It's very easy. You don't have to be right. You just have to have people think that you're right. And so really, like, and that's why it's important to, like, speak with confidence about things. It's more important how you say things than what you say in a lot of cases. And it's also more important how you communicate than what you communicate. Like, the way to manipulate and get people to, like, think the way that you think and to believe what you believe, there's a science to it, really. I mean, really, genuinely, there is a science to it. Like, I've always been, like, one of those people, right? Where, like, I would try to, like, you know, fucking move things in my favor. I lie to people all the time. I was a kid. That's how I can see it. That's how I know it. Because I know it because I do it. I know it because I've been doing it for a while. Like, I've been doing it for my whole life. I was lying and shit when I was 5 years old. I was breaking my instruments, guilt-tripping my teachers, telling them that I couldn't afford a new one. And then, because I didn't want to play a musical instrument in music class in 3rd and 4th grade, bro. Like, I've been in this for the love of the game for my whole life. And I see these people that are casuals getting into it. And a lot of these girls, like, y'all don't know how to do it. Y'all don't know how to manipulate people. You don't know how to lie.
Let's go and talk about the lies that this bitch Emiru said about Mizkif. Because she not only lied to the people, she lied to the fucking court. That is how bad this bitch is. The very first lie Emiru said was that her statement was spontaneous and unscripted. The statement where she accused him of sexual assault. Obviously, that was a lie. She, on her own statement, said that she consulted her lawyer to make these declarations. Obviously, that's not an spontaneous statement. It's an scripted one. She accused Mizkif of sexual assault multiple times during that stream. Mizkif and herself basically agree on the events that she told the audience. When she told the story about Mizkif jumping like a cat, that statement, they both agree on the events that happened that night. They both agree that the moment that Mizkif found that Emiru was uncomfortable, he jumped off her and he stopped. So where is the sexual assault exactly? Where is it? This was very obvious from the very beginning. There was no sexual assault. It never happened.
It never happened. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer. Not this time. It never happened. It's false. It never happened. It's a fake. It's fiction. It's an urban legend that never happened. No way. We got you. Not a chance. Not this time. It never happened.
She also said that she was on the process of filing a restraining order. That event also never happened because to this day there is no police report, there is no restraining order, and there is nothing. Another lie. She lied to the court and said that Mizkif and herself never went back together, especially after the event where Mizkif jumped off her like a cat. Specifically after that event, she claims that they never went back together, and Mizkif shows proof that that is a fucking lie. Again, he explains that their relationship was toxic as fuck essentially, and they were constantly breaking up and getting back together. That was the dynamic of the relationship basically at its end. Another fact that Mizkif brought up is the fact that he was the one that ended the relationship, not her. This is a key aspect because what really happened was that this bitch actually wanted to marry Mizkif, and Mizkif didn't want that. For some reason, he didn't want to commit, and maybe the reason is that because he knew she was a fucking harpy and he didn't want to commit to a fucking harpy. Maybe, who knows? A man can have his own reasons on why he doesn't want to commit. He doesn't really have to explain his motives. In fact, not only men, also women, maybe they don't want to commit for some reason. Who knows? I think everyone has the right to do this. But Emiru didn't took that very well and decided to do all of this to destroy Mizkif's career. So he was the one that ended the relationship, not Emiru. And extra Emily, this stupid bitch that doesn't even know how to drive and shouldn't be driving, at some point she's going to end up killing someone. This bitch knew the truth and Mizkif shows the messages. Extra Emily knew that Mizkif was the one that ended the relationship. She knew it and she abstained from showing everyone the truth. What a nice friend. Emiru also claims that Mizkif constantly stalked her. This is obviously another lie. The man shows his timeline around the events where Emiru claims that Mizkif was stalking her, and guess what? The man was barely around the place when all of these allegations of stalking happened. The man was traveling around the fucking world. Basically, when he broke up with Emiru, he basically fled to Japan. He escaped to fucking Japan. How is that stalking? Well, it isn't, because it's again another fucking lie. What a surprise. And Emiru, in her pathetic fucking little stream where she defames Mizkif, she tells the story of once upon a time they coincided on a party and somehow Mizkif opened a single fucking door and she happened to be inside the room, and Mizkif said oops. He closed the fucking door and left. Holy shit, what a motherfucking big stalker. I mean, it's as credible as the whole he sexually assaulted me claim. It's just as credible. Basically, there is no credibility because this is fucking stupid. That's not stalking, just like her obvious dumb fuck fake claim about sexual assault is not actually sexual assault. That's the truth. She also lied and said that she cut all communications with Mizkif. That's also a lie, and Mizkif shows that he had access to her. He could send messages to her. In fact, he once sent a message, a big message to her with a big apology. How the fuck did that message reach her? How? Oh, it's because you actually never cut all communication with him. That's the fucking truth. Now, she also claims that he abused her, physically abused her, and says and mentions the whole black eye. And Mizkif, once again, because he already explained this on his first statement, this was a fucking accident. He used to throw his phone into the bed and the fucking phone jumped towards Emiru's eye. It was a fucking accident. He felt bad for it and he stopped doing that. In fact, he shows that Emiru knows this was the truth, that this is the fucking truth, because multiple times she joked about the event and she told everyone around her that it was an accident, and she even said that it was a funny story. So why did she change her version of that event? Because now it's convenient. Now it's convenient, and now that was abuse, because it suits her narrative, even though it's yet another lie. Also, if that event was truly physical abuse, why is there no police report about the event? Why is there no police report about this? Because it wasn't an abuse event, because this wasn't physical abuse. That's the end of it. In fact, abusers, real abusers, will do this constantly. This wouldn't have stopped at a single black eye. It wouldn't. It will have continued to happen. We would have an entire history of similar events, of quote-unquote accidents that happened to her, and that is a red flag. But a single event, it's not. Mizkif also explains that due to these lies of this bitch, he essentially was shunned out, pushed out of the streamer community. And this is the problem. This is the reason why I am doing this video, because we need to make this type of cases louder, because we need to retrain the population to stop believing women. That's essentially the goal. We need to do the opposite. Don't believe anyone, not only women but men. Don't believe anyone that comes out with these outlandish statements and accusations with no fucking evidence. This type of cases, this type of situations need to be resolved by the law, not by fucking Twitch. Anyone that decides to come out with these shitty stories about abuse, etc., if they don't do it to the police, you can 100% assume that they are fucking liars. And women do this on a regular basis. So this is not new, and what we need to do is stop believing all of this shit. Stop making people guilty before you even know the details, before you even see the evidence. There is a reason why the phrase innocent until proven guilty exists. But the problem is that these women, this effeminate, pussified society has retrained people's mind into believing that all accusations must be taken as actual incriminating evidence, and they are not. They are just fucking claims. So that's the reason why I am doing this video and why I am giving more visibility to this case, because this needs to be viral. I am sick and tired of these fucking women trying to ruin men's lives. No man should go through this shit. No one. Mizkif was completely outcast by the streamer community because of false allegations. And this can happen to anyone. If this can happen to Johnny Depp, if this shit can happen to Mizkif, if this shit can happen to these people, to Brad Pitt, if this shit can happen to these people, imagine what can happen to you, the common man. Imagine. This is why this is important. You need to denounce this shit. It doesn't matter who is the victim of this shit. It doesn't matter what are the political views of the man that is being falsely accused. It doesn't matter. If you are not on their side, you're fucking hypocrite and you don't actually believe what you say. This is why I am supporting Mizkif. I am not a viewer. I am not a regular viewer. I am not a fanatic of him. I don't follow him. And when I say I don't follow him, I mean I don't follow him like a fucking fanatic, because I actually follow him on X. But that doesn't mean that I actually follow him like I am a fucking cultist. It's not because of that. It's because he's yet another man being falsely accused by a fucking bitch. Also, I told you, I actually made a whole video about this. This bitch, Emiru, was deleting evidence, and in his last statement, Mizkif shows this to you.
Before I go, there's just one more thing I want you to see. Just one. This whole case will be decided on evidence. The messages, the devices, the documents, everything both sides has to hand over. Under oath. I filed this lawsuit on November 3rd, 2025. By her own side's account, she knew about it November 10th. And on November 11th, the very next day, she went back on stream and told everyone watching this in her own words.
I got 2 new computers. My other computer is gone. I gave it back to Starforge and they wiped that shit.
I'll see you in the next video.
So as you can see, and as I have pointed out in my video, Emiru deleted evidence. She sent her whole PC back to Starforge systems to be wiped out. This dumb fuck bitch said this on her stream. She is that retarded. She is that fucking retarded. She admitted to committing a fucking crime. At the very least, this is obstruction of justice. You shouldn't be doing this. If you were served a lawsuit, all your media files, all your disks, all your PCs, all your devices are fucking sacred now. You can't go destroying these devices. You can't be doing that. But she did it anyway. And I think she was helped, and all of this was suggested by Asmongold. I think Asmongold is big time involved in this shit. He may be quote unquote winning the lawsuit he is in with Mizkif, but I think Asmongold is more involved in this situation. I think this was all a plan. They all conspired, because this is a fucking conspiracy. It actually is a fucking conspiracy. And they tried to do this because they wanted to get Mizkif's money, Mizkif's shares of OTK. I think that's what happened. I think these clowns, these evil pieces of shit at OTK, saw what was happening to the relationship that he had with Emiru, and they thought this was a good opportunity to tarnish the reputation of Mizkif and use this as a way to steal basically from him. So essentially, Emiru is a liar. Mizkif was right all along. I knew it. It was easy as fuck to know it. And you know what? Fuck all the fucking Emiru simps. Fuck all you stupid motherfucker simps. You are pathetic fucking losers. You have nothing in your fucking lives. Imagine watching a female streamer. Imagine following a female content creator. Imagine even following a female content creator as a man. What the fuck are you doing with your life? Men don't need to follow women. It's the other way around, my man. And if you don't do that, you're a cringe, weak, pussy ass bitch. And I am happy because all of you are probably having the worst days of your life right now. Now that everything is coming to light. Emiru fucking lied.